Good morning, homesteaders. It is Wednesday, September 27th. I am Len. Welcome to the Halfway Homestead. Today's quick video, we kind of want to talk about a quick year in review and also what we'd like to do. And we'd like some feedback, honestly. We'd like to hear what you'd like to see us do. So, first things first, what have we done this year? What's new this year that we added to the homestead? And that list is pretty big for our first full year farming. Things we did. We added turkeys. We've never done turkeys before. We added turkeys this year. They have been absolutely hilarious. A massive amount of fun. Their personalities are incredible, and we are ready to harvest them in 2 weeks. Lessons learned there is that we don't need to start as early as we did. We could have waited probably another 4 weeks to start, so that's good. We haven't harvested them yet, so there might be some more lessons learned, but we're pretty confident. We've harvested enough chickens at this point that we have our system down pretty well. And let's face it, turkeys are big chickens. So we feel pretty confident in that. By the way, if you are somebody who purchased turkey from us, we'll be reaching out here very shortly to coordinate pickup times and so forth to get that done. Anyways, so we added turkeys. We also added American Guinea Hogs. This is our first year with those, so we coordinated and we partnered with friends of ours over at Oak and Honey Farm, who are also in their first year. And so we just picked up 4 American Guinea Hogs from really good friends of ours. They run an amazing farm over at Hawk Newberry Farm. Erica and Brian, they do an incredible job, and we love them. So we picked up 4 of their American Guinea Hogs, and we have been raising them out this year. These hogs were already about 9 months old when we got them. And that was by design. American Guinea Hogs grow at a much slower rate than some of your more commercial varieties. They're a heritage breed. They get most of their feed from forage if you've given them the space to do so. And that's where the partnership with Oak and Honey worked out really well. They had a bunch of land they wanted to clear, and we suggested pigs. So that worked out really well. We've learned a lot of valuable lessons there. We've had a couple of pig escapes that they've had to go chase down pigs, or at least grab the feed bucket, and they come following pretty well. We've learned a lot about fencing for pigs and what works and what doesn't work. And I think going into next year, they are going to try some new fencing, new to them. We've never done it before. This year we used Premier One netting, but it's quite honestly, it's kind of expensive for the area that if you're moving, you have to move them more often because the area is smaller unless you buy more fencing. And so American Guinea Hogs can run pretty well on 2-strand high tension, fencing, electric fencing. So if you train them to it, so I believe that they're going to do some sort of infrastructure like that for pigs next year as well. And then that way there they can paddock off much larger areas. The pigs don't have to get moved as often, and then the fencing will be more permanent, so they can just open the gate, move them into the next paddock, and rotate them through. Make labor a lot easier. So let's see. So those pigs, we're processing them in November, and so those will be done. I'm really excited about that, to be able to not only consume some of our own pig that we raised, but also to get reactions and so forth from our customers, because we've sold off 2 of those pigs, and we're looking forward to the feedback there. Let's see, what else did we add? We at least quadrupled the size of our garden. We did go, last year we had a 25 by 25 garden. This year it's not a square, so it's kind of hard to get. It's not even a circle. It's just a bunch of, it's a really weird shape. We're just using the existing contours of the land where they were, and kind of fenced off this whole massive area. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably 75 by 50, maybe 75 by 75 in some sections. If you were to square the whole thing off, you're probably like 75 by 50, or rectangle it off, whatever. And we have tried new things to plant this year. One of our favorite new things is Mexican sour gherkins. They are these little tiny baby, they look like watermelons. They taste like a lemon cucumber. They vine, so we've got them up on our big trellis system that we built the previous year. They grew like crazy, very, very prolific. You can eat them in hand. You literally just pick them, pop them right in your mouth. You don't need to do anything with them because they grow off the ground. There's really no reason to necessarily wash them off or anything like that. Can easily toss them into salads. You can just eat them in hand as a snack. Tons of fun. Definitely going to grow a lot more of those next year. Customers loved them. So if you're looking for something new to try, definitely go with those. And they've got a pretty long shelf life too in the fridge. Honestly, they haven't lasted long enough to find out how long they would last. But we've probably had some in the fridge for upwards of 2 weeks, and there's no sign that they're falling apart at all or losing any of the quality. So that's the big win this year. We also experimented with a couple of new tomato varieties, some heirloom varieties, and the black Vernissage is probably our favorite. Really, really enjoyed the flavor of those. They're beautiful to look at. We're definitely gonna grow some more of those next year as we continue to try new varieties. Let's see, what else? Ground cherry. Oh, what a big win ground cherry is. Ground cherries, otherwise known as gooseberry, was a big win. I think we've got a couple of pictures that have gone up on our Facebook page or Instagram page about that. They're really funny. There's a small bush, and they take and they grow a small berry that's inside of a paper like shell. The flower itself, the flower petals become a paper shell and close around it. And they're super astringent to start. If you eat them too early, they can kind of just like really astringent and pucker up your mouth. Not in a good way. But then all of a sudden it's like, boom, they've moved to sweet. And they're really phenomenal. Got a long shelf life as well. Keep them in a cool place. We did not get a chance to experiment this year with after like value added type products with those. We want to try next year with some things like jelly, or even some things like we did make a ground cherry salsa that, if I recall, was basically onion, tomato, ground cherry, cilantro. Might have been it. Maybe there was a little lemon juice in there too. It was phenomenal. We made so much of it though we couldn't actually consume it all before it went bad. So that's a lesson learned. Make it in smaller batches, and then on top of that, we'll probably go and look at could we make that and then can it so we have some throughout the year. It was great. So those are probably the big 3 wins from vegetables. Our fruit wise, our blackberries and did okay. Our blueberries did all right. I mean, those were all like 1.5-year-old plants. Our raspberries they win the day. We have raspberries raspberries and strawberries probably both are tied for production. We've been eating raspberries and strawberries all year. It's been awesome. We've got a couple different varieties of raspberries, and we've got 2 varieties of strawberries, and we've been getting nice, big, giant, plump strawberries. And pretty much go out every day and harvest some. We've frozen a lot of them. We put them in smoothies and stuff like that in the morning, protein shakes, that sort of thing, and they've just been a big win. We're really excited to see next year's production because we got a lot of the little sorry about that. Had a notification pop up. We got a lot of the little runners that went off, and we made sure those hit the ground and they put down roots. And so our 25 plants this year is going to look like 80 plants next year. And then the initial plants we'll end up pulling those out probably mid to late summer next year, as they will have run their course. So we're really excited about this massive strawberry patch. So strawberries and raspberries are big fruit wins this year for us. We're excited to see next year as they continue to kind of just get settled in, and hopefully we manage those correctly, and just see some continued amazing growth and get to enjoy those. It's my favorite thing to do is that when I get home because I'm still commuting into town, into the city, that when I get home, to be able to go walk the property real quick, take a look around, and just walk by and grab fresh berries to eat. It kind of makes it all worth it. So let's see. So that's kind of the vegetables and the projects type things that we added. We tried our first hand at microgreens. We made a lot of mistakes. Didn't work out real well. We are not done with that. That is coming back, and in the near future, we are going to solve that. I really like the idea of being able to produce greens all year round in our house so that we can provide for ourselves and our own dinner plates, and also add that as a product that we sell. Things like sunflower and pea shoots and radish. They're just super, super nutrient dense. They're very tender, flavorful. I'm really looking forward to solving that. That will probably happen over this winter, and sooner than later, quite honestly. It's one of the things I'd like to do right away. We had talked about adding rabbit and quail this year. We never got there. Part of that is that I think between adding pigs and turkeys, and we brought on some new varieties of ducks, that we were really just too busy, and we wanted to make sure we did it right. And so and the ducks, we wanted to nail down some systems early in spring into early summer. We had a lot of injuries on our ducks, and we're trying to solve that and look through it, and we figured out what most of it was coming from. As crazy as it sounds, most of it was coming from the drakes. The drakes are just mean, and they were hurting a lot of the ladies. Once we culled down our drakes to none, we have a couple more now because they're part of a new batch, but all the adult drakes went away. Our injuries just stopped. Now the downside is that means that we won't have fertilized eggs, so we're not going to naturally replenish our flock. But our hope is that with the exit to freezer camp of the old drakes, that as these new drakes get older, that maybe they won't be so mean. We'd like to have, some drakes there, but we want to make sure that the ladies are first and foremost, that they're healthy and happy. So that was a big change there. And so yes, rabbits and quail did not happen yet. Oak and Honey Farm is doing rabbits, and they have their systems in place, and they are looking to breed here in the next couple of I think 4 to 8 weeks, somewhere along that timeline. And so because of that, we may not do rabbit, because we have a source that we could potentially get rabbit and barter and trade and work out some sort of deal there, so that there's no reason for us to be doing the same things, both of us, and kind of being competitive at all, when we in fact could help each other instead. So for example, we raise ducks, we raise duck eggs. For a long time they didn't have any eggs on their own property, so we helped them out. I like they've helped us out in return, so we'll probably continue that relationship. So I'm thinking quail is going to be, of the two, quail is going to be the thing that we solve for next. It serves a purpose of allowing us to have quail eggs plus the meat, and which are both things that we can take and market and enjoy for ourselves. Really enjoy quail eggs. They're super easy to raise, and so that system is probably going to come over winter as well. We'll design it all out, figure out how we're going to make it work appropriately for our property, and then bring in some quail in the spring, or as soon as it warms up enough. That is one of our challenges with quail, is that we don't currently have a way to overwinter them. We don't have a garage that we can bring them in and have it heated, or at least keep it above freezing. We are in Northern Virginia, and it does get cold here. It's not as cold, obviously, as like up north in the U.S., but there's plenty of winters that we have had stretches, multiple days below freezing. So we definitely have to do something to protect them through the wintertime. And we've got some ideas there, so we'll see how that goes. So that's kind of where we are. It's kind of like a video, podcast, audible, review of where we have been this year. For those of you who don't know, we bought our property we closed on October 1st of 2015. So we are coming up on our 2-year anniversary on the property. Check out our YouTube channel if you haven't seen it already. We did a 1-year in review property walk, and it is to date our most popular video. We will be doing a 2-year in review, and we'll continue to do those as long as we're on this property. As systems continue to grow and they continue to be stacking and working together, we will be showing our successes and our failures. So look forward to that. I'm probably going to film that this weekend, because the following weekend we were not going to be available. So look for that to be hitting YouTube probably next week. And so what would you like to see us do is the final part of this. Is there something that you have an interest in, from a video standpoint, things we've talked about you'd like to see more of? Our trellis systems have been a big win, and we've had a lot of people ask about those. We did a brief video last year about it, or earlier this year. If you'd like to see more about that, let us know. So if there's any questions about our ducks or whatever, please reach out to us, send us a message, leave a comments below, comment on the blog over at thehalfwayhomestead.com, and we would love to meet the needs that you have and answer any questions that you might have. As always, thank you for watching, listening, reading, however you're getting this, and please share this with your friends. We would love to kind of get our name out there and to help build our brand. So if you like what we do us a favor, smash that share button. and tag some of your friends. We'd love to talk to them. Thanks so much. We love you guys, and we'll see you on the next Dailyish.